Hello. Yeah, I want to talk about things going on in the world with regards to protests. The world's in a lot of turmoil right now, and this past while there's been a lot of protests going on, a lot of uprisings, and the media has covered these events and not made them look pretty. I mean, it's a bloody mess. There's been rioting and what have you, and lots of tear gas and fire, and it's just not very pretty. And I have no doubt in my mind that it's the majority that are violent, but you know what the media are like. But anyway, yeah, I just feel as though we're sort of playing into their hands, and this is what they want. They want it to look like this. And I'm all for peaceful protest, right? And I'm all for the protests that are going on because I know what they're about, right? Basically, people are very dissatisfied with the status quo. There was a media coverage that put it in those exact words. Basically, what we're looking at here is, people are sick of society, people are sick of their governments, and people are wanting change, and they want their leaders out, and they're just crying out for change, and so they're rising up, and yeah, so this is what's going on. Okay, now I want to talk about something, and I'd appreciate some comments. It'd be nice to know that I'm not the only person thinking this way, right? But you know what I feel is that, okay, you see these protests, they're with good intentions, and I admire people that stand up for what they believe and take to the streets and try and change the world, for the next generation and all that. That's all good. But at the same time, I feel as though it's just going to go around in circles and nothing really will get done. So I've been thinking about this, and I've been thinking, well, an alternative, right, that will really kick the elites in the balls, right? It will really free us from the clutches of the elites, the way that they have society set up to enslave us, right, and to disempower us. Is basically, you see, like all those thousands of people on the streets. Okay. What if, right, we're all intelligent people. What if some thought and some organisation went into trying to live an alternative lifestyle independent of the dependence that we have on society? Now let me illustrate. Okay, so I feel as though I'm not kind of explaining what I'm trying to talk about here. Let's talk about my cats. Alright, we'll talk about my cats. Now, my cats, they are dependent. Okay? They're not free. They can't be free. Okay? Now my cats, they depend on me for warmth, for shelter, for food. Okay? Now, if I was to put the cats in the car and drive out to the middle of a forest and let them loose, they wouldn't survive. They couldn't survive because they've become dependent upon me to provide for them. Whereas like cats, they ought, right, by their instinctive nature, to be able to survive in the wild, but they can't because we've conditioned them, and they don't know how. And it's a little bit like that with us. With us, we're at the bottom of the food chain. You got like 1% of the world leading 99% of the world. You got the elites and the people behind government that are pulling all the strings, orchestrating all the events, even making us think the way we do. What's going on? how we've been conditioned and how we've been molded and formed is unbelievable through a long period of time. And you know, we are slaves. And you know, at the moment there's protests in the UK over the fact that, you know, pensions, I mean, people are having to work longer for less pay. Alright, that's what they're trying to impose. You know, rather than retire at a reasonable age, which I don't think is reasonable in the first place. You know, I mean, you retire almost before you die. I mean, fuck's sake. I mean, you should be retiring in your prime, you know, where you've still got some level of fitness and health to enjoy your life. But anyway, that's another thing. So, yeah, I mean, it's just like the standard, you know, the standards of living are declining. Disposable income is becoming less. Incomes are not rising. Cost of living is rising. So people are getting poorer, the rich are getting richer. But you know what this all boils down to is the fact that we live in a money-based society, and that is the problem. That's been the problem with this planet from the minute that a money-based society was invented. It's not the way to go, but we're a long way from getting away from that and breaking free from that. A long way. You know, it's not going to happen overnight, but you see, that is the problem. We need to be free from a money-based society, and the way in which I believe that we can take steps towards that, again, it's not going to happen overnight, but I feel as though, you know, if we can get together as groups, you know, just begin slowly, right? Just little things that move us towards greater independence, okay? We shouldn't have to depend upon the grocery stores for our food, on the utility companies for our energy, you know, transport, unnecessary fuel for transport that isn't necessary, okay? There are alternatives, and like these things are taxed so much, and we're just like, the elites are just sitting really pretty, you know. I think they are losing their grip on humanity slowly for the first time in history, but as long as we feed them and play the game, right, we need to get out of this game. You know, we need to be free and get out of this rat race, and just as much as possible, little by little, the least you can depend upon the infrastructure of society and gain just a little bit of independence, you know, month by month, year by year. Alright? And if everyone did this, then that would really hit them and hurt them, you know, and you know, they would lose and we would win. The earth belongs to us, you know, it does. And yeah, so you know what, you see, if you got like people, and everyone's got different skills, everyone's got different resources, so you know, if you got like, you know, a community of friends, and you know, such and such a person's got this skill and this person's got that skill and this person's got that skill, and we all bring our skills together and do things for one another, not for pay, but just, you know, to live harmoniously. And you know, and then like maybe you got this farmer who does this and that farmer who does that, and so grows such and such a thing, and everyone's growing something, and then we all just, you know, we can all be fed, you know, we can all have homes. Well, you see, this is it. You see, this is a long way down the line, because like, we're in a society, you can't just like build a house any old place, you know, you can't. It just doesn't work like that. But you know, I just do believe that we can start small and develop this, you know, and I believe that would have a bigger effect. So yeah. So I find this very intriguing, and I'm giving it a lot of thought just lately, you know. So I want to hear what you guys' thoughts are. Any ideas, any thoughts on the matter, any flaws with this ideology? You know, maybe there is. I'm sure there is. Okay, so you'll take care. Thanks.